Hi, in this video we'll be starting key area 3.4, which is about the cells that make up the nervous system, which are known as the neurons. So here is a diagram of a typical neuron with some of the key structures that you need to know about highlighted. So you would be expected to either label them in a diagram or recognise them from a diagram. So ones highlighted in green are your need to know. So we have the dendrites, which are these branch-like structures where electrical impulses are going to start. We have the cell body, where we find all of the organelles such as the nucleus, all the features you would find in any other type of cell, as well as the axon, which is this elongated tail-like structure where the electrical impulse is going to travel along. So although these are the only three parts you're expected to label, to identify, I've also highlighted to you two other structures which will be helpful to know also. So we have the axon terminals, these endpoints where the electrical impulse will terminate. And this will be helpful later when we come to looking at how these electrical impulses travel from one neuron to another. And also the myelin sheath is part that surrounds the axon, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail. So, as we saw, neurons are surrounded or coated by this myelin sheath, and this acts as an insulator to protect the axon and allow the increase in the speed of the impulses as it travels along the structure. So if you think about a wire, the myelin is like the plastic coating that surrounds any wire. Okay. So this is not a process that's fully complete when we're born. So the myelination, the process of forming this myelin sheath, continues from when we're born all the way through to adolescence. Hence why if you know any toddlers, that the response to stimuli over the first 2 years not quite so rapid or coordinated as you would expect to see in older children or in adults. We can really see the importance of the myelin sheath when we encounter certain diseases that actually destroy or break it down, which usually lead to a loss of coordination. So you're not required to know the name of any particular disease, but one we're all probably most familiar with is multiple sclerosis or MS. So if we've got to make this myelin sheath over time, well, how does that happen? Well, as well as the neurons, another category of cell, the glial cells, make up the nervous system, and these play a supportive role, such as in the production of this myelin sheath, which will then surround and wrap itself around the axons. So, why don't we try some past paper questions? Pause the video and hit play when you want to know the answers. So the first one is a straightforward knowledge recall question. So what is the function of glial cells? This is the production of axons, of myelin, of dopamine, of noradrenaline. So remember, glial cells are the ones that produce the myelin sheath. The second question was a problem solving one. So we're showing a graph where we've got ages at which infants are able to walk unaided. So the left bar shows the age at which 25% of infants can walk unaided. The right end of the bar shows the age at which 90% can walk unaided. And this vertical line that's highlighted shows the age at which 50% or half of the infants can walk unaided. So if there are 24 infants aged 12 months, were tested, how many of them would you expect to be able to walk unaided? Okay. So we're looking at the 12 months, so it's well below the 90, well below that 50% mark. Uh, so half of 24 is 12, so anything higher than that can be discounted. Okay. It is higher than the 25%, so it should be more than a quarter, leaving the answer as B 10. So of those 24 infants, you'd be expecting 10 of them to be able to walk unaided. So again, I hope this has served as a nice introduction to this new key area, but if you do have any questions, you can always leave them for me.